Welcome, everyone, to the Anime Nomad podcast, a podcast that probably no one has heard about, but we are here and we are talking about anime. And I am not SeaTactics, as you probably know. I am instead Rising Center Reviews, but I am joined by my good friend, the SeaTactics, a man who once went hang gliding off of an active volcano. How are you doing tonight, C?
None of that's true, but it is good to have the Anime Nomad podcast back, as it's been a while. Reference, everybody understands it.
I don't understand it. But we are also joined tonight by the very special guest, Astro, who really is like a brother to me.
Hello.
Also because he is my brother. But we will ignore that. So this podcast is, we have decided to look back on the anime that we have watched together over the past year or so. Some of these are older anime, some are newer anime, some are good, and then some are fake Khalid.
Yeah. Also,
Most of it's fake Cleat, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, actually, most of it's probably Sympho gear, but I guess it's also important to note. We have
Most of it
there's
will be
four
disclosed later in the video.
There's 4 Anime Nomad podcasts we did prior to this one.
So, yeah, and they're on like different people's channels, so there will be a link somewhere in the universe to those.
Yeah, probably on my channel, which is where you're watching this. So it'll be in the description.
That 4 people ran the same podcast.
Yes. So I guess we sort of things in the alphabetical order because that's how we do things, I guess. It's actually not completely alphabetical. But we're starting off with the comedy masterpiece that is Aho Girl. It shows that Tachi, that dog-kun, really is best boy.
I really loved Aho Girl, rewatching it. I watched it before in... When did it come? It was 2016, the summer, right?
No, it was summer of 17.
It came out in 2017.
2017.
Yeah, for a while it was my top anime of the year because nothing better came out. Or maybe it was 18.
I think maybe I was in the same... I think I was the same because that was before the fall 2017 season hit. And then there was like Inuyashiki and Land of the Lustrous and like a bunch of the shows that I'm very nostalgic for. I'm actually really nostalgic for the year 2017. I don't know why.
Okay. Yeah, looking back, it wasn't like I did not feel as good of an anime year, but I guess like you're getting more into doing YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was getting more serious.
Channel was growing.
Yeah.
And that's when I met C, and then my life has never been the same since then.
And then you met Garfield, and your life really wasn't the same.
Well, yeah, we did the ReZero podcast. It's amazing. But I actually, this wasn't the first time I'd watch Aho Girl. I really enjoyed it actually going back over it because it just the jokes just they were equally as dumb as they happened before, but it was really fun watching it, with friends because it was a different kind of viewing experience and environment.
Right.
And I would say I still, probably, I don't want to say objectively, but subjectively speaking, for a lot of people, Aho Girl is like not strong comedy wise because it really plays it safe and doesn't really go beyond the title of the anime, which usually is a sin. But I think, it's this, while it may seem like an anime that is just coasting off its title and being one of those kind of anime, I think it goes a little bit above that because it just kind of leans into it a lot, which is, I think, something that makes, for the people who watch Aho Girl and enjoy it, something a little memorable.
Yeah, for me, a lot of anime comedy I don't like after like 2 or 3 episodes. Like, I'll think the first episode is hilarious, and I'll get like 3 episodes, and I was like, wait, that's all the show has. I'm bored now. I'm going to go watch Fake Khalid. But with Aho Girl, I legitimately enjoyed every episode. The jokes were constantly funny, and it's probably like in my top 10 anime comedies.
Yeah.
That's because you always need fake Cleat as a fallback.
Exactly.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures, but I think for most people they would categorize this as a guilty pleasure. And for me, it's one of those, it's definitely not going to be, a technical masterpiece 10 years from now, or even a classic 10 years from now. It's probably going to be forgotten. But I enjoy it for what it is, but I want to hear what Astro thinks about it because it's been a while since we watched it. Been a while since we watched it.
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm reading through the synopsis because it's been over a year, and I honestly don't remember. So, if I remember correctly, well, as it lives up to the name, her girl, she's a dumbass, and and also somehow managed to get a caring friend
Yeah.
in school.
Kind
Who
of.
also is rather strict too, and a giant fluffy dog. Where that came from, I don't know. Maybe Gintama.
I love the theme of like her loving bananas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Like, wasn't that like in the first episode? Like, 'cause she says, your job is to give me bananas when I'm hungry.
And then I think it hard cuts to her eating a banana, and then just like the whole fade behind her, and then she's just salivating. And it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, I love my favorite thing. I think is the opening for Aho Girl, because it's just like a bunch of bananas falling in the background, like in a pattern, and it's just
like a
this
food
funny
commercial.
song.
Yeah, I actually kind of forget it, but I sort of remember it.
If McDonald's was known for bananas instead of burgers, I feel like she'd go there.
Why am I hungry now? Okay, I'm gonna go get a burger. I'll be right back.
Halfway through a podcast, someone ditches it for food. Okay, then.
I mean, that's happened before, right?
I think
Not in this.
my favorite joke in Aho Girl, now that I think about it, is when she fools the teacher into thinking she's falling in love with a male student, but it's actually just Aho Girl in a wig. And it's just the funniest thing. Oh, it was such a random joke, but it made me laugh out loud.
I actually don't remember that scene.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. You got to go back and watch it. It's
Right.
We probably should have gone over some basic materials so we knew what we were talking about.
And you don't have to know what you're talking about to be on YouTube.
Well, that's how the Nomad podcast works. 50% of prepared.
Well, thankfully for me, I've seen these anime a couple times, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
Wait,
Mostly
if
mostly
we're
I've
lost, back
seen
on.
twice.
Yeah.
There's pieces of them twice. Yeah, so Aho Girl, good comedy. You should all go watch it, and you'll see why Dog Kun is the best character in the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Getting
I'd recommend
recommended 3 years
Aho Girl.
later.
I definitely recommend Aho Girl for viewing today, because it's just 12-minute episodes, and it's 12-minute episodes.
Yeah,
And
in the episode, like there are many episodes that are like really short too. So like, there's no downtime. It's like it's a show without any substance, but the comedy's good enough so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's kind of like a slapstick, honestly.
Yes,
And there's a lot of slapping.
yes, most of it deserved. So that's our thoughts on Aho Girl. Now we are moving on to Baka Monogatari, a
4
show
episodes.
that was less well received by us than Aho Girl.
See, I don't think it was like poorly received. I think it was just a show that wasn't for us. I've seen
Yeah.
the show before. We got 4 episodes into it, and then we decided to move on from it to something else. I can't remember. Maybe it was One Punch Man or Konosuba or something. But I was actually kind of interested to see what you guys would have thought of Baka Monogatari, and I think we liked the first 2 episodes, which I think generally are the best 2 episodes.
I think I don't know if I would say I liked them. I was interested because of how weird it was, but then it was like after that there wasn't anything interesting for me to latch on to.
Yeah, like, it had this good feel to it at first, kind of a weird show, intriguing, and then after episode 2 it fell off. It's like
Yeah. I could see there being something there if I like watch it longer, but when I was like watching episode 3 or 4, I was like, I don't care about any of this. I just want this to end. That's
I'm
how I
pretty
know like it's not like this isn't for me.
I'm pretty sure most of episodes 3 and 4 were just flashbacks. It's like, okay, like why wouldn't we have done this
I
or
know.
I
started
think it was a
in the
different
first 2
anime, those
episodes?
flashbacks.
Never mind, ignore me.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, because they introduced like the new girl who like was on the bus and stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the first 2 episodes of Baka Monogatari is just to put into perspective of what the show really is about. It's about this guy who catches a falling girl and she's weightless. It turns out she has something like a puberty syndrome of sorts. And, and she's cursed by a crab. And so essentially she weighs next to nothing. And so the main character, Araragi, helps this girl, Senjo Gahara. And it basically it's like a supernatural harem. If you've seen like Bunny Girl Senpai,
I was gonna say it sounded like a lot. It sounded a lot like Bunny Girl Senpai just based off your description of it.
Yeah, I would say Bunny Girl Senpai is
It's like the more tame version of it.
It's it's the watered down. That's what I would give. And Baka Monogatari is like only the most hardcore of hardcore anime fans usually watch Baka Monogatari. It's definitely not it's not an easy show to get into, but it is entertaining if you like the kinds of shows that have like a bunch of dialogue going. Like I think if you like Night is Long or whatever.
Oh yeah, that
Girl,
one.
or if you like that,
Or Tatami Galaxy.
yeah, if you like that, or like Devilman Crybaby, or super introspective, deep stuff, and if you like Shaft, then Baka Monogatari is a solid thing to get into. I think.
Yeah, it was Shaft. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Most of those other things you're talking about I don't like, so no wonder I don't care for this one.
Yeah, if you're a big studio Shaft fan, then you probably would like.
Oh no, Shaft I like some, like they did Madoka in March Comes In Like a Lion. It's like they're very good, like the stylistic storytelling, but in this case, the storytelling, like there's nothing there I could easily latch on to.
I actually like a lot of things about this anime. I like the art direction and the directing. I think it's really crisp and kind of to the point, but also at the same time it kind of has its own Shaft, like kind of inspirations as well. So it feels like a studio and a director working together to direct an anime at some points, which is quite unique. I like the character designs. I like the characters. I don't hate any of them, even the little girl who weighs a ton or whatever. I can't remember. I don't like any of them. But I don't hate any of them, but I don't.
So he likes the lolly.
Oh god damn it! But
Bring it back.
I think Baka Monogatari has a lot of story depth that's just because of its direction. I think for you guys, I think it kind of went on deaf ears because I think I think the anime that we enjoy most is direct and to the point and kind of doesn't require much deep introspection, which I think Baka Monogatari does. And that's not to say it's like, super deep anime, because it's not, but it goes further. It's like watching Evangelion. You can watch Evangelion to watch it, but you're not going to get much of it if you're not engaged.
Yeah,
which probably for 3 people wasn't going to work out. Right?
Yeah, it's just I think I think I tried it myself like 1 or 2 times before this, but like never got into it enough to want to keep going. This is actually the farthest I've gotten with it. Anyway, talk about the next show.
Yeah.
Heaven's Feel.
So Heaven's Feel. It's not a show. It's a movie. We watched the
multiple
first 2 movies, Heaven's Feel 1 and Heaven's Feel 2. I think in the same year. I've seen quite a bit of these films. I've seen Heaven's Feel 1 4 times, and I've seen Heaven's Feel 2 3 times. They're if you don't know about Heaven's Feel, it's part of the Fate Stay Night series. It's the basically the ending. It's the as people would call it, the true route, the true ending route. But it basically follows Shiro Emiya, Saber, Holy Grail War, all that jazz that we all know from Fate. But this time, some things have gotten a little bit turned upside down, as Will Smith would say. And Sakura Mato is the main heroine in this one, so it's a much darker take on Fate than Fate Stay Night and UBW were, and it goes back really to kind of a style that Gen Urobuchi did with Fate Zero.
I didn't think Urobuchi was involved with Heaven's Feel, though.
No, he is not, but they do make an effort to make it feel more in line with what Fate Zero was doing.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more like the breaking down of all the ideals that like Shiro had sort of been holding on to in the other 2 routes.
Right. Which I do want to say, because I just talked a bunch about Baka Monogatari, so I want to keep it short, and people will know I do lots of Heaven's Feel videos, but I love Shiro Emiya's character in this because he's so different than in UBW and Stay Night, and he's more. All of the issues I think people have with him aren't really here in Heaven's Feel.
Yeah, it feels like this is like the conclusion to his character arc that kind of crossed like all three routes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is also the first Fate that we got Astro to watch, and like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I watched UBW, but I don't think that was a great start. So
Yeah, you like tried an episode of that and didn't like it.
I remember Astro hating it.
Yeah. So
I
it's
wanted
like,
to go to sleep and you're like, here's this 50-minute episode, and I'm like, oh, fine, which didn't help.
I remember I tried to get Astro into Fate for like months. He was like, no, I don't wanna. It's bad. It's terrible.
Well, I feel like after the first week was up, that was pretty much just a joke. So
no, it
Damn it,
wasn't.
you were joking me the whole time. You're joshing me.
pretty much.
So I think what we're saying is that if you don't like Fate, watch Heaven's Feel. It like throws it out all the slow stuff, gets straight into the plot, and then Shiro blows everything up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good
Then
thing.
the Holy
about
Grail
it.
happens and everything gets fucked up. And then it happens another time. And then
Right.
rinse and repeat until the end of time.
I think you're going to be lost if you just jump right in to the finer details of what happens in the beginning. But they have a nice little montage to kind of like, get you back up to speed. Of course, you're not going to get the nuanced details of the relationship, between Saber and Shiro and Archer and Emiya. But I think that Heaven's Feel is definitely a point where you can just jump right in if you want to. And I think you can just do that for any Fate, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people say there's an order you got to watch, but at this point, honestly, watch where you want to watch. It's fun.
Clearly, because I'm understanding some of the things that I feel like I wouldn't if I watched
I
it.
feel like none of the orders are good, so just pick a place and start there.
And I feel like it's kind of a compressed version of like what series was this based off of? The
Fate.
not UBW.
Heaven's Feel is based off the Fate Stay Night visual novel.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. If you want an animated version of the Fate Stay visual novel, this is it. I thought it was based off of one of the.
Well, they're all based off the same thing.
So pretty much only the Khalid one is.
Khalid is something completely different.
Okay.
That's actually the next anime
Yes.
on the list is Fate Khalid Season 1 and the Heaven's Feel of Fate Khalid, which is the Fate Khalid movie.
Or Oath Under Snow. I did a video
Yes.
on that. Got a lot of views.
Yeah, so did I. People like Fate Khalid, apparently.
Yeah, I don't have anything positive to say about Khalid. Didn't like it too much. Loved Oath Under Snow. I think everybody should watch that film. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oath Under Snow is great, and I just love the way you have the two completely different sides of Fate Khalid. You have the fun, parody, comedy, and all that, but then you also have the dark, serious storytelling, and it's able the whole series weaves the two together in a way that makes it really unique, and actually makes it my favorite iteration of Fate.
Right. It's kind of like it. Honestly, has a Madoka Magica vibe to it, where it's comedy sometimes, but also has its very dark undertones to it, and it's like.
Well,
if
yeah,
you're not expecting it, it hits you with that. I was like, what? This is surprising.
well, yeah, but Madoka does not really focus on the lightheartedness hardly at all. It's 90% dark, 10% character setup. Well,
right. It
Khalid
just
is
kind of has that feel to it where it seems light at first or stuff like that, but then the dark-hearted part.
Yeah, so it actually a better comparison might be with Yuki Yuna, because it has a lot of everyday life, slice of life moments, but then it also has a darker storytelling, and they come together more. I think Khalid is more explicit in how it blends the two genres together. So yeah, Fate Khalid is awesome, Oath Under Snow is awesome, and even C likes it, so you know it's good.
yeah, Oath Under Snow for sure. Just to keep it short on season 1 for me. Some moments were cute, I guess. Funny, if you want to call it that.
Others.
Otherwise, it's not my thing.
Also, there is the 5-minute special, 10-minute special for this.
Oh yeah,
That's technically after it.
Oh yeah, the Oath Under Snow is Shiro and Sakura talking.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yes, watch that after you watch the show.
Try and watch it right after the movie. It's not.
Now I want season 5 of Khalid. Oh well, someday.
It'll come out. All right, now going off this list, this is going to take up most of the podcast. Fruits Basket.
Oh yeah. Well, me and Rising did a whole podcast on Fruits Basket.
Yeah, Fruits Basket was okay. I guess okay, moving on.
Yeah, Fruits Basket's going to kill you in your sleep.
So
yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Fruits Basket is about the journeys of Toru Honda after her mother is killed, and she moves in with a bunch of boys, 2 boys to be exact, who, when hugged, turn into a rat and a cat.
What about Shigure?
Those 2
and also there's a dog.
Are Yuki and Kyo. And it's about basically Fruits Basket. I would say it's a collection of events of Toru meeting a lot of these characters, a lot of the family members of the Soma clan, which Yuki and Kyo belong to, and learning what their animals are, and learning about their traumas, and learning life lessons from their experiences and mistakes and successes.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help them grow as people, and I should just help them feel better, because some of them don't seem like they're doing too great.
Yeah. It's just a lot about like how to be a better person, and that's like the message of the show, which I actually made a video on if people want to watch that or just watch the entire podcast.
And it'll take a year.
Yeah, we talked about Fruits Basket a lot.
If you want to, you can go very into depth with this one.
Yeah, what are your thoughts like on the rewatch? Do you like notice different things or?
Yeah, quite a bit of stuff actually.
Sounds like the bracelet.
Lots of details in each episode. Small things like foreshadowing. I don't want to say much on what it foreshadowed because I definitely want people to go out and watch Fruits Basket. But definitely lots of foreshadowing, lots of small things I didn't catch before in terms of like family dynamics of the Soma family. And as well, small little character things, like a lot from stuff like Kyo, especially Yuki, and lots of little dialogue hints.
Yeah, there's also definitely a lot with some of the minor characters too, because you like see them a few times before you really get to know them. It's like knowing who they are puts a lot of that in context better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting for me, like rewatching it. In a way, I liked it better because I like understood like how they were building the plot more. But I also somewhat liked it not as much because it did not feel like it had the same emotional impact when I knew what was coming.
Right. It kind of like the first watch has that. It has that hit from the emotional impact, but you don't fully understand. And then the second watch, you'll understand everything, but then you kind of expect some things, so it's not as emotional.
Yeah, and I felt like the beginning was like more dull since like I already knew the introduction. It wasn't anything like special for me.
Right.
I think actually what helped me, I didn't have that feeling, and I think that's because I watched the sub first, and then I watched the dub, and I'd say I'm a pretty decent dub fan. And I like when a dub is really good, especially when it has a lot of classic voice actors from my childhood that I used to really appreciate, especially one Laura Bailey, who voiced Toru Honda, returned to voice Toru Honda from the 2001 cast, which for the most part they all returned for this. And I think the dub really helped me kind of like appreciate a lot, and also is one of the reasons why I was able to pick up on a lot of things I didn't before, because doing notes for a podcast weekly, which is what we did for the Fruits Basket podcast, it's a little difficult to keep up sometimes and notice everything. But I guess as well, a little cheap plug, Fruits Basket podcast will be returning on this channel as soon as the show starts airing in April.
And maybe sooner, though we need to figure that out too.
Yes.
Something interesting about the dub, though, I do agree it was like a very well-made dub. But I wonder if the reason I did not enjoy it as much is because of the dub.
Did you watch your sub the first time?
Yeah, I watched the sub the first time. And like I remember going and like seeing a few clips in the dub, and I just did not care for them as much. So despite the dub being good, I think it just might be one where I feel I connect better with the Japanese, which is weird for me because I generally like English dubs better when they're good, and this one was definitely a good one.
Yeah, I think that really kind of gets down to like preference at that point.
Right.
I think that's because I think the approach to English voice acting over subbed or Japanese voice acting, I would say, is English voice acting plays more into subtlety, whereas Japanese voice acting doesn't do the subtle things that much.
Or it's a lot more blunt.
It's a lot more, blunt in your face. Well, I wouldn't say blunt. Blunt's not the right word. It's not less nuanced, but it's just there's people in Japan appreciate a certain style, and the style that people appreciate in Japan is just different inherently.
Some things may be more clear than in English compared to a Japanese.
Yeah, and I think maybe just the style of Japanese voice acting works better for a show like Fruits Basket, for me at least.
And because it is Japanese.
I certainly liked the Japanese cast for Fruits Basket. They were tremendous.
Yeah. It's kind of like how I am like the opposite with My Hero Academia, which we're not going to talk about long, but it's like the dub for that I really get into. But when I go to watch a sub, it's good, just not there in the same way. So
Right.
it could be just this show works better with how Japanese do it for me.
I assume this one relies heavily on the fact that it's originating from Japan, so it's going to pull more Japanese tropes compared to something like Black Lagoon or Kill la Kill, where it's more vulgar. So it kind of pulls more like Western or American tropes, and thus why that might work better there.
Yeah, so they should make Totoro more vulgar then.
No, please don't. What is your favorite episodes in the first season of this new Fruits Basket? Because mine is 24.
Yeah, 24 is
24
definitely one I was
happened.
thinking. Yeah, 24 is that one. I still really like Uo and Hana's
Yeah, they're so good.
Their
episodes.
backstory was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I appreciated like 23 and 25 more now that I like saw how they fit into the greater context.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think we're all saying 24 because that's, well, at least for me, that's what was surprising to me.
Yeah, that definitely was a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Uo and Hana's episodes are fantastic. Emoji-san's pretty great. I like the involvement of what's his name?
Kazuma?
The guy who cross dresses.
Ritsu.
Not-
Yeah, Ritsu.
Yeah,
I
Ritsu.
liked Ritsu. I like generally all of the characters and their involvement. They're pretty great. So I guess let's move on to a show that we also really liked and we watched the dub for. Now I know there's gonna be some people in the comments are gonna be like, "You watched the dub for Konosuba?" But yes, we watched the dub
It's
for
everyone's
Konosuba.
favorite.
And I'm going to
Yes.
say it right now. I didn't do a video on it. I may do one in the future if you guys want me to. But the dub for Konosuba is amazing. Do not sleep on it. It's one of the best dubs out there right now. One of the best, probably in about 5 to 10 years' time, I honestly think the dub for this will be considered a classic because it's that good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite comedy dubs out there ever.
Looking at this, I'm wondering if maybe just stupid comedies, because like with Aho Girl and Konosuba, both dubs seem to play really well into.
Well,
Baka Girl didn't get a dub.
Well, that's why it played so well into it.
So-
We should
but
do it a lot sooner so we don't forget shit.
Yeah, Konosuba was really good. Like I saw the Konosuba movie this year, which was subtitled, and like the voice acting there is amazing as well. So
Yeah,
neither one is bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely not trying to say like fuck people who watch the Japanese version. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is Konosuba's dub is freaking amazing, and you should not sleep on it. It is awesome.
Yes. Now I want to see the movie dubbed.
Same.
What about the OVA?
I want to see that dubbed too.
Just want to see all of it dubbed. In season 2.
Well, season 2's dub is coming out like at the end of the month, I think.
Astro, I want to know what you think about Konosuba because you're not exposed to a lot of what this show made fun of. So, like, if you don't know, Konosuba is about a guy who gets summoned to another world after dying, and it's basically a parody of all the popular isekai. In fact, the creator of Konosuba is friends with the guy who did ReZero, and oftentimes he'll make fun of the tropes in ReZero as well.
Hold up, synopsis. Yeah. Honestly, well, okay. Of course, being comedy, found it funny. What else was there? Not great on the spot.
Explosions.
Explosions. There was a lot of explosions. I actually found it amusing when Megumin went too ballistic with explosions and pissed off a royal knight or something. And well, he wasn't happy about that, and then Darkness got almost killed because of it.
Yeah, like he ended up. She kept blowing up the Demon King's
Blew up his castle
continentals.
like 12 weeks in a row, and he was pissed about it. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, so he brought his whole army against the city, and the heroes had to fight it off, despite them being basically useless.
Yeah,
Darkness is like, I'll protect you, and then she's getting her ass kicked. But of course, being the masochist she is, she was enjoying it, making it worse.
Yeah, I love the personality types of each of these characters, because they're all, for one, there's one thing consistent with all of them. They're assholes. They're terrible people. But like Megumin like blows stuff up and causes a bunch of trouble. She's also a Chunibyu. Kazuma is just a womanizer.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit. Darkness is a masochist.
I learned the steal technique. All right, I stole your panties, and then just fuck you.
Kazuma will do that.
And then he'll sell it back to you.
And then he sells it back to you.
Darkness is a masochist who is like supposed to be this noble knight, but she constantly gets everybody into trouble because she just wants to get hit.
That captures really
I feel like Darkness might be the most noble of the main characters.
I'd say she's probably the least piece of shit because she's
definitely go sacrifice herself.
Not because to be a hero though.
Yeah.
At least she's willing to do something compared to that. Aqua is a real the most useless.
Aqua's she's a goddess who is literally useless because she has no powers, and as well she's kind of like she's like this almost bratty, like just like she obviously had it well made, and
then she's like thrown in here and had been spoiled, and now she wants Cosmo to take care of her.
Yeah.
And she can be useful, but it seems like more often than not, she ends up making things worse when she thinks she's useful.
Yeah, she does like one or two things a season that usually kind of saves their ass, but it usually always almost involves something terrible happening.
And then it comes up
they'll get a handsome payment if they purify all this water in this lake. Okay, let's go do it. Aqua should have no with it. Lock her in a cage, and then she starts getting attacked by crocodiles. So
that was great.
It's like, you can see how well this is going.
Yes. We need more Konosuba, but we're going to watch the dub for season 2 soon, I hope.
Yeah.
And speaking of seasons 2s that will never be mentioned again, we have One Punch Man. Actually, that was
the show.
Okay, I'm going to go on record as saying it. I said initially that I enjoyed One Punch Man season 2 more than season 1. I'm going to flip-flop. I actually enjoy season 1 more than season 2. But I like... But it's not because I like one story over the other. It's the fact that the animation in season 2 was horrendous.
Yeah, I feel like for One Punch Man, the animation for season 1 I liked quite a lot, but then the story was not really there. And then in season 2, there's an interesting story, but then the animation wasn't there, and then it ended incomplete. So I like season 1 better slightly.
I feel like the biggest downside for me though was the fact that in season 1, since it was mainly following Saitama, since he's One Punch Man, basically any threat was non-existent to him. It's just here's this really really deadly thing, and then it's dead. Okay.
Well, it's also they build up all these fights against the side characters, but you knew the side characters weren't going to beat the villain because that was Saitama's job.
Yeah, it's kind of okay, cool. They're spending all this time on these characters, and it's great. But most of the time, it's they don't beat it. And it's if it was more than likely, but I don't know.
I think
That's actually why I liked season 2 for a while, is
Yeah,
because they're
that's
following Garo, who's like, there's actually tension when he's fighting the other heroes, and like
Yeah.
he had an impossible enemy to defeat in Saitama. So you're like, is he going to come up with a way to do it? And you wanted to root for him, sort of.
Yeah, no.
And yet he was the villain.
Garo is
Yeah.
a great addition. He's also not just the villain. He's kind of like this Shades of Grey. Like you can kind of get behind what he does, because he doesn't just straight up like kill these heroes. He kind of just like, I guess for lack of a better word, puts them in their place, humbles them a bit. And sure, that it's brutal beatings, but
Right.
poor Moomin Rider.
Yeah, like he's not a hero, definitely, but you can see where he's
He's
coming
an
from.
anti-hero.
Yeah, and like from his overall goals, like wanting to see the heroes actually lose, from a storytelling perspective, that's kind of something I want to see too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where One Punch Man has created this kind of thing where I want to see the villain succeed as much as I want the hero to succeed, which is, I think, brilliant. I think that makes for an extremely compelling story to tell.
It sounds like such an interesting story. It's like, okay, well, I want good and bad to succeed here, and it's like, now what happens when both of the two ultimates clash, though?
Yeah, like season 2 could have easily been better than season 1 if it had better animation and if it didn't feel like the story just like ended at the end of the season.
Yeah. Also, the biggest downside for Garo, though, is he recognized Saitama, but yet Saitama didn't recognize him. And then
That was
he got
kind
a
of
real
great,
close.
though.
He got a real close look at some fruit.
Also, have you guys seen the manga? Like how the manga looks compared to even the
No.
first season? Oh my
No, I
god,
haven't really.
it's like incredible.
Is it the Wong's manga, or is it the like remake of it?
It's the newer version.
Okay.
It's by the other guy.
Okay.
It's, oh my god, it looks almost realistic in some ways. It's
Okay.
awesome.
Okay, they should have made him make season 2.
Yeah. Also, before we go on to our next subject, I feel like we should have Rising insert this photo in, though, just because reasons.
Which photo?
Not specified. Okay, why is my computer shitting itself?
Astro's computer is now on fire.
Damn it, it's C's computer all over again.
But speaking of things that are on fire, we have what is the greatest anime of all time we're going to talk about next. And that is none other than Ori Twin Tails Ninari Masu, a show about a young man who dreams of following his passion of Twin Tails, and he ends up becoming a magical girl, fighting off evil aliens, saving the world, and discovering what it truly means to love Twin Tails.
We are not putting that image in the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Nope, we're not doing it.
All right, Rising, you do the final vote.
We're opinion this.
Ah, god damn it.
See, Odyssey agrees with us. Who's
It's
also
taking consideration by the looks of it.
So Twin Tails is my literature. Twin Tails is awesome. I'm sorry. I wasn't a believer because I saw the rating on Mal and I was like, this got like a 5 or 6 or something. This is gonna be crappy. But let me tell you something. It is crappy, but it's good. Okay, it's good. Watch it. It's bad, but it's good. Watch it. Watch Twin Tails. Are you watching Twin Tails yet? Because if you're not watching Twin Tails, you need to. It's hilarious.
Exactly. It's like one of the shows.
It's like clean, but way more focused on like the stupidity aspect on it instead of like a kind of serious dark side to it. It's just the stupid half of it.
Exactly. Twin Tails is a modern classic, as I proved in my video last year.
I wouldn't go that far, but okay.
Yes, C is going that far.
What?
C has seen that Twin Tails is his literature.
And he has asked KO Annie for season 2.
Exactly.
I agree. I think KyoAni should totally get on that.
It may seem completely off the wall, which is why it would work, but it's also like a type of show I could see them really doing something good with. Like, there's a lot of deeper meaning to Twin Tails that most people just like don't pay attention because they think it's just a stupid show. Yeah. But that's the type of things KyoAni likes doing.
Yeah, okay. I feel like aside from a couple other studios, I don't know any that do absurd off the wall things. Like,
I mean, didn't KyoAni do like a Fullmetal Panic Fumufu or whatever that was?
They did.
Yeah,
And they also did Violet Evergarden.
So they can do like serious moving shows and absurd shows. So you should combine them together. You have Twin Tails season 2.
And they also did Violet Evergarden.
And Shinobu. Wait.
Yeah, but we're ignoring the bad shows.
And they also did Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, and actually, I was at an anime panel this past Christmas, New Year's, and it was like for underrated anime. But the person who was hosting the panel, like his computer wouldn't work, so he's like having us come up on stage, like talk about our favorite underrated anime. So I got to rant about Twin Tails for like 5 minutes in front of a room of strangers, and it was fun.
This is why you need to watch Twin Tails. And you just pull up a picture of Tail Red.
I just imagine rising on stage, just saying, just like by the end of it, there's everyone it's just leading a prayer for Twin Tails.
And there were like 2 other people in the room who I could watch it too. They understood it. The rest of the people probably thought I was weird, but that's okay.
The rest of the room was like, this man's fucking crazy. Better by the end of it, you had people fucking in a cult for Twin Tails.
Oh.
Okay. Chanting Twin Tails. It's like,
I need to do a Twin Tails panel at my next con.
Exactly.
See, we're going to make it happen right after the live action Fruits Basket panel.
I'm going to dress up as Soji, and you're going to dress up as Tail Red.
That's a tall ass Tail Red.
I was going to go with the opposite. All right, Astro, we need you to be Tail Red.
Okay, I'm not short though.
You're shorter than me.
Yeah, by like a foot.
Exactly, Astro's short. And so you can
How
do
about
Twirl.
How about this? Ben is Twirl.
Okay.
You're Tail Red. And wait, no. What are the blue and yellow actually? It's Twirl's
What was the Tail Yellow's real name? The student council president.
Saber.
Yeah, Saber.
Close enough. All right.
Arteria Pendragon.
We've got
like
Saber, Twirl, Tail Red, and just whatever Blue's name was.
Ika.
Perfect. This is an amalgamation of things.
So what did you guys think about the characters in particular? I think my favorite was probably all the guildies, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fucking characters. Like, that was hilarious.
Like, you have the villains who, like, they want to, like, steal the love of Twin Tails from the world, but they all want to spread their own attribute. Like, you have one who, like, has a big breast attribute. He wants to, like, have lots of big-breasted girls all over the place.
But then, of course, he clashed with the man that wanted flat.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a guy that was into literature or some shit. And like,
yes, the literature one was... He's my favorite guildy.
They're all like, there's like worm guildy, there's lizard guildy. They're all like
different
like creatures,
like animals. I think for the most part.
Yeah, and then like one of them died or something, and it's like they had the stupidest name, and they're like, "No, something guildy died." And it's like, oh,
yeah, wasn't that when like lizard guildy like literally exploded? Like he was loaded with like a fucking.
He was loaded with dynamite and blew up on the spot.
Like it was crazy. It was so hilarious.
Yeah, that's part of what like makes the show so great. Is like they have these absurd villains the Twin Tails have to fight, and it's like also they're making fun of the whole anime culture too. Like you have like, oh, I love this big-breasted twin tail girl, and like they're the villains of the show.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, and I love all their reactions to it. Like, oh, ew, disgusting.
Yeah, like Twin Tails she's tied up.
I like how sometimes it would kind of like, I guess, end on a cliffhanger. It was just kind of kept hanging, and then you see the next episode, and it's like they're fighting that. Like, what the hell?
Also, you gotta watch the dub for this. The dub makes it.
The
so
dub is
funny.
everything.
Yeah, the sub was not bad, but the dub just perfect for this show.
And the reason is because of all the guildies. Like they're perfect in English.
It's like Kill la Kill. The English just makes it better.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And just when we were watching, there are times like we would say, and then the character like has the same reactions. Like, wait, Astro is Tail Red. They're thinking the same thing.
Because Tail Red and what's his name both have that "what the hell is happening" moment.
Yeah, like Soji and Tail Red are probably like the most normal characters.
Yeah,
Twirl is kind of like this Twirl's her own fucking thing, but the other one, I think Tail Blue is pissed at Tail Yellow because she got the one that gave her big ass breasts, and she's fucking tiny ass character. She's like, well, I don't like this.
I think
It's like-
Yeah. I mean, Aika's a good person. She just has anger issues that she points out her breast size.
Yeah, I think she about killed Twirl 20 times, and well, maybe sent her out a window once or twice, but
I think at least once. So we had a quote about that.
I'm thinking about that actually. Should we put the quotes in the description for all of these?
Can I
That would
just
be
say?
funny.
Can I just ask, how did Twin Tails get an adaptation in the first place?
I don't know, but
I
I'm
don't
glad
know,
it
but
was.
I'm glad it did.
Exactly.
It's like some of these shows, like it's a manga you read, and what the hell is this? This is never getting an adaptation. And then like 2 years later, you see this, like, how in the hell did this get done?
Yeah, like I can think of things like My Hero. Okay, popular show, large appeal. Let's make an anime out of that. Kimetsu no Yaiba, popular. Give it an anime. Konosuba, funny. Everyone will like it. Let's do that. Twin Tails.
Twin Tails,
Who in
what
their
the hell
right
is
mind
this?
would like this?
How did you even find this anime?
Yeah, how did you find that? I remember asking this once and I forgot.
I think it might be Corey.
That seems like such a Cory anime.
Yes, I think he might be the one who like pointed it out. Like he said he tried the first episode and like it's like I'll try it too. It's like that's pretty good, and then I was like it more and more, and I've seen it like 4 or 5 times now.
I could tell when I first met him how little I knew him. As soon as he recommended Penguin Drum, I'm like, what the hell is this, man? Like, what is
Yes.
he doing?
I need to rewatch Penguin Drum.
I want to watch this.
But yes, Twin
Penguin Drum.
Tails is the best anime ever. I think we've said more than enough about that. Though you can never say enough about Twin Tails.
I agree. I could go on. I could talk forever about Twin Tails.
We need to do a Twin Tails podcast at some point.
Exactly.
It's a Twin Tails podcast, and you just see a timestamp 2 hours. It's like, well, this is going to take some time.
But speaking of podcasts, the next show on our list is a show we have also covered in a weekly podcast, and that is Sympho Gear. Though we covered XV in the podcast, and now we'll talk about all of Sympho Gear. And Sympho Gear is the most Sympho Gear show out there.
I'm going to
Sympho
pull up some
Gear.
notes because I think we were watching Sympho Gear in 2018.
Sympho Gear is a show that absolutely, without one single doubt in my mind, should be in the zeitgeist of anime. People, casuals, should know what Sympho Gear is. And the
I feel like
fact
this
it
is-
doesn't is all because of just what it is. Sympho Gear is the perfect example of judging a book by its cover. It does not deserve all of the. It doesn't even get hate. People just say, like, whenever you recommend Sympho Gear, people are like, "What? Nah, I'll pass." Like everyone passes because they think it's like just this
It's a-
bad show with just.
It's
but
the kind of
so-
lackluster. It's an idol,
so
based
good.
on an idol anime, right?
Yeah, it's like I end up.
And very loosely based on idol.
It was at one point higher rated than Vinland Saga on Mal.
Yes, because it's not boring.
This is also, I feel like, a show that this is the how the hell did this get an adaptation moment.
The thing
no,
is, it's
I
not even
understand where this
adapted from anything.
This was just a full on no manga anything.
Yeah, it was a completely original show.
How did this come to be a show then?
Yeah, I think at first it was like a way to get more attention for Hibiki's voice actor as his music career, and then they just like kept going and building on it. Okay, so for those who do not know, Sympho Gear is a magical girl anime, technically.
With singing.
Yes, it's about these characters who fight evil monsters and stuff to save the world, but they fight them by using the power of their Sympho Gear, which is activated by them singing. So every time they fight, they're singing as they do so, and the songs are really good. It's like some of the best
Yeah, the
music
music
in
is
anime.
really good.
It's like, you know how you see a really good AMV that gets hype for the fight that it's showing? And
That's
that's
the AV itself.
that's basically every single battle in Sympho Gear.
Yeah, Sympho Gear has some of the best like electronic rock music in all of anime, without a doubt. Probably top 3. I would also say that you say magical girl technically. I would say it has strong magical girl elements, but I would actually say it's more of something more akin to a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or a shonen. I think it's
Yeah.
more shonen than anything else.
It feels like a magical girl anime that's grown up but not become super dark.
Yeah.
It's like you have like the Madoka and shows like that took the magical girl genres, went super dark. Well, Symphony is more like, what is the core of it, and let's like mature it a bit, but like tell this type of story that they've told before, like with all the excitement and fun.
It's not Twin Tales, but it's not like it's not Madoka Magica.
So
it's a happy mix.
And it successively, I think, mixes a lot of the elements it takes from. Just to try to list them all. So we got Magical Girl, got Shonen, we got Yuri anime, or not Yuri anime, but Yuri. You got dark, very dark, dramatic elements. You have so many themes on like family and death and religion. God, there's so much. It's literally lesbians fighting religion.
You're not wrong. Like there is Crunchyroll uploads some of the clips to YouTube, just like get people into it. And one of the clips is literally titled "Hibiki punches God."
Or I said religion, but that's the better way to put it. It's lesbians fighting like gods,
literal gods.
Sometimes with alchemy. It's amazing.
Sometimes with killer robots.
Also, yes, sometimes
the use of death lollies.
Yes, sometimes the death lollies summon their giant robot, and they throw the cat lily.
God, I love Symphogear. I would love to rewatch the whole thing again. It would. I want to own the whole thing on Blu-ray. And actually, if you want, they release season 1 on Blu-ray for a fairly cheap price. And
okay.
And when I can, I'm gonna pick it up.
I don't think Symphogear season 1 is as good as the later ones, but it's like I feel like I have to own it because it's a piece of Symphogear.
Yes.
Also, as well, Symphogear is an extremely, extremely rare series that gets better with each season. And I'm not talking like
this is across 5 seasons.
Couple things improve. I'm talking like straight up from the ground up. Literally every single thing from season to season gets better.
Yeah, like the first 4 seasons, like they're fun. They're Symphogear. They may not appeal to a wide audience. Like season 5 had solid storytelling, not just by it being Symphogear, but being a good story.
Like I found myself like, okay, season 1, I had no idea what I. Boy, was I surprised! Like, I don't know if this was the season or not, but like I know one of them starts out and they're like in helicopters, and the next thing you know, shit goes down, and then now they're on top of the helicopters, fighting things as they're flying 1,000 feet in the air, and it's like, then there are other times they're flying through the air fighting shit, like it's, and then the bottom of the ocean.
I've said it before.
We're on the moon.
I've said it before, but I think Symphogear is a more absurd version of what Kill La Kill was trying to do, and that's weird to say.
How can you get more absurd than Kill la Kill?
This is Kill la Kill on drugs.
Kill la Kill was on all the drugs to begin with.
Kill la Kill was on drugs. This is on fucking steroids.
It's on drugs and steroids and alcohol and anime.
This had everything wrong with it, and yet it's still fucking great.
But it's not absurd in a way that's like breaking the fourth wall. It's still serious. It's a serious story that treats itself seriously. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's really good, is because it doesn't devalue its own story. It's still trying to tell its own story and tell it respectfully. And all the characters are so well developed and so well written, so much so that I honestly would love to see spinoffs of just each of these characters just get their own anime.
Yeah, or just like a slice of life of these characters. I'd love to see that.
That would be such an interesting life.
And Chris Chan is my religion.
Exactly. And like we need more death lollies in our lives.
Like I feel like this has also such a wide variety because like before, some moments you're just absurd action, and yet other moments it's like such deep not romance. What is it? It's like sometimes it's got such a deep drama feel to it. Like it's sometimes actually really sad. Like, okay, these characters are badass and everything, but they're still human, and it's like, okay, well, sometimes they need someone to lean on. Like, it's not always happy.
Like,
there's very human stories here.
Yeah, they feel human. They're not just, okay, I'm a character, I have no feelings, I can do this all day and not care.
One of the best things about Symphogear is the fact that it takes the time to develop its characters in all sorts of different kinds of ways. And the best way is the best example of that is Hibiki and her relationship with her family, and how big of a thing that is to Hibiki's character, and how it always keeps popping up in every season. And as well, you contrast that with how they develop Chris Chan, which is essentially she's a big boobied tsundere who likes to blow things up with guns and rockets, and she likes to eat a lot, and she's really just kind of she's really bubbly and outgoing and sincere and endearing. Like, it's just they cover the whole gambit with the emotions, and
all the characters are like from so different backgrounds. Like, you have Tsubasa, who's an idol by profession. You have Hibiki, who's like an ordinary person with family issues thrown into this crazy world. You have the Death Lollies, who, without spoiling too much, she like came from a really hard past, and now they're like trying to learn and grow throughout all this.
Yeah.
Also,
you have Maria, who is just awesome.
Yeah, Maria's great. Love Maria.
Yeah, like they all come from such wide areas, and it's like also. Thankfully, because I think there's like 7 or 8 of them in season 5. Like, thankfully, just not all introduced in one episode. Like,
yeah,
this is also because I think at first it was just Chris was all they added in season 1.
Yeah, because they had Hibiki, Chris, and Tsubasa. Yeah, and so like by the end of it, they have a really big cast, but it's not like the cast feels crowded.
No, they don't hit you with everyone at once.
To me, Symphogear is a celebration of anime, and I mean that as sincerely as I can. There's references to all kinds of anime, from JoJo to Dragon Ball Z to Naruto, so much. Yeah, to FLCL, especially in the first episode, gives off massive FLCL vibes. Any kind of popular anime or obscure anime that you can think of,
they reference it.
They reference it.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And they reference it in a very heartfelt and endearing way. That isn't just, oh hey, look, we're referencing this. There's a meaning to it. There's a message behind it, and it's always great.
They definitely put a ton of passion and heart into it too. Like, there's an interview with Tsubasa's voice actress that I saw like after, and she made a comment like Maria broke like multiple headphones while she got too into it.
Yeah, Yoko Hikasa did the voice acting for Maria, and if you don't know, she's I don't want to say she's like this big voice actress in Japan, but she does like the voices for she did the voice for Mio and K-On! I think it's what most people know her for.
So she's at least well known.
Yeah. So yeah, just like the characters or the voice actresses also wrote the songs that the characters were singing too. They weren't like pre-written for it. They like knew the characters. Yeah. This is how they're.
Not only that, Aoi Yuki, voice of Hibiki, is the voice of Madoka in Madoka Magica.
Oh, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, except not at all.
Because that's how this anime is. Makes sense, but yet it doesn't.
It makes sense, but by its own logic.
It's its own damn logic.
Exactly, but it follows the logic, and like everything makes sense by Symphogear logic.
Yes. Except Symphogear logic doesn't exactly make sense.
Yeah, I give Symphogear 10 out of 10. Everyone should check it out. Be open-minded about it. I promise. It's good.
It was my top anime of last year, and there was a ton of great stuff last year. And yeah, that's our thoughts on Symphogear. Our final show to talk about, which is great, but it kind of feels like a letdown of these last two and how much we had to say about it, is Steins Gate.
I feel like we ordered this wrong.
We should have been on Symphogear for sure. But yeah, Steins Gate, this is my third rewatch of Steins Gate.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic show, but it just feels like it's missing something special that Twin Tails and Symphogear had.
Oh my God.
That absurdity?
Yeah, like Steins Gate is awesome, but it's not quite as awesome as Symphogear.
I love Steins
Gate.
Steins
Gate seems like more of like a kind of serious sciencey show.
Yeah, it's like if you want to feel smart, you watch Steins Gate. If you want to feel like you've just taken drugs, watch Symphogear.
I wouldn't say that. I say if you just took drugs, watch Baka Monogatari.
If you want to do a pound of heroin real quick, Baka Monogatari.
Can you even do a pound of heroin? Probably not.
Yeah,
Don't
you
you?
probably
You'll
fucking
probably
die.
die, but well, that's the point of it. Watch the 3 episodes, and then by the time you died, it's done.
But I put truthfully, this is I the last time I'll mention Sympho Gear, but Steins Gate and Sympho Gear to me are on the same level. But Steins Gate, the one thing I loved always about rewatching Steins Gate is just to see how all of the time travel mechanics work and how the first episode is the last episode. And it's just it's just so awesome. Like this show is so great for rewatches because the first 8 episodes are sort of slow. Everybody knows that by now, but it's an experience. That's what Steins Gate is. It's an absolute experience. It's a powerhouse. It's amazing.
It's one of the best thrillers out there, I'd say. And the rewatch is so cool too because you know what's happening, so you see the pieces being set up. It's like an amazingly rich and show with how all the different things kind of come together.
Like the amount of details they sometimes put really far into it. Also, this is episode 1 or 2, and yet here's stuff that is going to be cleared up in episode 23, 24, or stuff like that. It's it thinks really far ahead sometimes, and you don't notice until you either rewatched it or thought back to it.
And detail is the key word for Steins Gate. That's why the first 8 or so episodes are so slow for many people. It's because Steins Gate
got a lot to cover.
It has to establish the rules and mechanics of this world and the time travel itself. And so it's just so much detail heavy. Like if you blink, you could possibly miss something, and it's one of those shows where that's a good thing.
There's a ton of stuff happening, but unless you've seen it before, you don't notice what they're showing you, or you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once you, I just love this feeling that Steins Gate gives you when you finally get it, when the pieces come together. It's one of those shows where you don't get the full picture unless everything's assembled, and I love it.
I wish there were more shows like it.
It gives you pieces, and it gives you hints here and there, but it's unless you're actually looking for it and stuff like that, you won't truly see it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other shows like that. I can't think of any at the moment, but
what's it kind of come closer, like Death Note or Attack on Titan? But even then, it's not quite the same.
Right.
Yeah, Steins Gate is purely story driven and character driven in every sense of the word. It's such a great it's amazing.
Yeah, and the animation stuff is very good, but that's never the focus. It's just highlights it. Compared to Titan, where the epic battles are one of the big focuses.
Yeah.
And
this one's kind of mainly the story with visual to it.
And as well, if we're going to compare Attack on Titan to Steins Gate for a moment, we got to compare Mikasa's English voice actress to Makise Kurisu's English voice actress, who are the same people.
All right, we're watching Attack on Titan next.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I got to start watching it soon again. But I think, speaking of, I think you got to watch this dubbed. I think this is one where the dub is better than the sub. I think this is a Cowboy Bebop situation, even though you can definitely make an argument for the Cowboy Bebop sub being just as good as the dub, because it is. But I think you have to watch this dubbed.
Personal preference.
Because it's just so... The dub is so well done. The dialogue is iconic.
Yeah, the dialogue is amazing, but I feel there's better emotional connection with the sub. If this is one case where it's both the sub and dub are so good, it's hard to pick one.
Right.
Me and Rising about to stand up.
Yes, I'm actually defending the sub anime, even though I normally don't. This is weird.
Normally on the other side of the fence. What happened?
Yeah, I know you don't care for Steins Gate Zero much, but I was actually watched that in the dub, but then I was rewatching a clip to make a video on it, and then so I was holy crap, this is amazingly powerful voice acting. And,
talking about me, by the way, not liking Steins Gate Zero. I hate Steins Gate Zero. Do not put that in front of me.
This gives me an idea.
Are you going to buy me Steins Gate Zero?
I mean, I bought my friend School Days. It's sitting on his desk. He's very proud of it.
And then you have that poster for SGO from SAO from Livy.
Yeah, I decided to take that one down and put
Never mind,
First Basket up.
Oh,
Anyway,
Fitting thing to replace it with.
First Basket.
Okabe.
Yes.
This guy, Okabe, goes through so much to save his not even girlfriend, just a girl that he just doesn't want to.
He stumbled into a person in the first episode, and then stuff happens, and then I would say pretty much most of this is him trying to undo that, right?
Well, yeah,
at least I know definitely the later half is what it is, which starts causing problems. But
yeah, and like he's trying to like save Mayuri.
Mayuri, yeah.
Mayuri. And then like you have like all the other characters, he show his relationship with them. And Okabe is I don't know if he's quite my favorite in all of anime anymore, but he's definitely way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Okabe's great. His character design is so simple, but so like it just stands out.
I cosplayed as Okabe once. Even I could do that one.
He's just so uncool yet cool.
Yeah. Again, he also feels like something about this one too. They feel like at least human characters.
Yeah, they do.
If they hit their bounds, they start to break. Like it's not okay. I've been pushed 20 times. I'm still fine. Like
and like you see how broken Okabe is at by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and J. Michael Tatum, he's a great voice actor anyway. He's been around for 20 years or so. He's amazing.
J. Michael Tatum also wrote the English dub script for this. At least he's one of the main people who wrote it.
Yeah, he's very talented. He's very talented.
Yeah.
He can do scripting, he can do voice acting, he can do directing.
So I think like he knew like he was writing for himself, so that like I think that's the reason like the voice actor for Okabe and the script work so well together.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he wrote it.
I mean, I love the dub for it. I love the dub. I love everybody involved with the dub.
I need to see what other scripts he's written, because if they're that good, then I have to go watch them.
I think he did for Black Butler as well, which is one he was heavily involved with.
Yeah, because he voices Sebastian. I think I've only seen the sub for that. They need to make more Black Butler.
I think he's done some work on Dragon Ball, but I think that's mostly Chris Sabat working on Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Because I think he voices Zarbon in the newer Dragon Ball versions.
I know he voiced them. I'm looking for one where he also like writes the English script for him.
But like I think Steins Gate is a series that does time travel right, even though it does it wrong. Because time travel, I've said this countless times, time travel is extremely hard to do, and it's not easy, and it will never be easy. But Steins Gate does it in such a way that makes it easy to follow, because they have this whole idea of diverging timelines, and like there's like basically
multiple world lines.
There's one world line, and then it splits off, it branches off into another world line.
But only one exists at any single point in time.
Right.
There are multiple, yet you're only in one of them.
Yeah, or like I don't even know if the other ones actually exist until like you shift the world line to be that one.
Yeah, which is confusing because
yeah,
that's exactly it is.
I've never seen a time travel show like use this type of like the rules for time travel, which is in a way you could say, oh, that's wrong, that's not how it works. But time travel is a fictional concept, so it can work however you want it to work.
Yeah, it's designed how you want it to work, which is something at least I felt with Steins Gate. It feels like with this, most of the time, it's so close to feeling correct, yet it never always does. Like it's
there is something.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's like
it's almost plausible.
It's almost plausible. Like this seems within reason, but it's just out of reach, though. It's like
and there's some things like okay, this doesn't make any sense, but that's pretty rare, all things considered.
Yeah, I think there was only like once or twice done it. It's like
there's one major one for instance, like that's not how any of that works at all. But beyond that, so, everything else.
Fucking CERN is the bad guy. That's so awesome.
That's just absurd enough to work.
Oh, and not only that, but the John Teeter thing, that's like Steins Gate, if people don't know, it's based off a real thing.
Yeah, and they actually used the John Teeter, like the story of him to they drew that in and made it their own.
Yeah, it's basically what Steins Gate is. If you know about the John Teeter story, it's basically somebody, a director or a writer, basically read the forum posts and the story about John Teeter and was like, fuck, I got to do my own version of what happened to this John Teeter guy.
Exactly.
It's so awesome. There's so many things about Steins Gate that's just so great. Like, especially all the details of the John Teeter story. Don't read the John Teeter story first. Read it after you've seen Steins Gate. Like, it's so detailed. Like, they have every single detail from everything John Teeter said in the old forum post that he made. And everything that he said he used, like the IBN 5100, all of that's in Steins Gate. God, it gives me goosebumps thinking about how well they did that.
Yeah, okay. I need to go find more anime like Steins Gate. I'll be right back. I need to go check Mal.
Pull Mal real quick. Yeah, seems about right.
So yeah,
Mortal is kind of like it. Same director.
But wasn't it a bad show?
Well, bad adaptation. I don't know, you may enjoy it. As a person who's read the manga, I would not.
I feel like he's saying something about my taste.
Speaking about adaptations,
so that is a list of the shows that we watched together last year. If people who have watched the whole thing have suggestions for us based on what we like, I'm actually really curious what shows that they think we should watch based off our list so far.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
We got like a whole list of shows that
we've got our own list right now, but that's kind of based on personal preference. So
is there a show that we would not think of that you want to tell us? Hey, you guys should watch this because you like Symphogear. You should go watch this other absurd thing.
Here's an obscure anime. It sounds like it's right up your alley. It's like maybe give it a try.
Yeah, and no promises, but Anime Nomad is something
kind of
that
back.
It's not. If we watch a show and we want to talk about it, we'll record something and put it up. Probably, I guess, on my channel, but otherwise,
it'll be on Astro's channel.
Don't expect it by monthly. Don't even expect it by yearly.
Yeah,
expect it by decadely. Expect it
probably every century.
Like you will get an Anime Nomad podcast.
When we feel like it.
When something's deemed worthy, like something catches our eye.
It will be up one day. It'll just show up one day. That's when they'll arrive.
Yes.
No, like us, probably Fate Cooking will get one. Fate Zero won't.
We need to add Fate Cooking to our list.
It's on the list. I'm looking right at it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, we're watching Fate Cooking next.
Ah, shit. Ilya learns how to cook.
But we're watching. It says it. We're watching Dai Maho Toge, then Konosuba, then Fate Stay Night 06.
06. Oh, okay.
Yep, I need to go to bed now.
And then we're doing 07 after that. And then 20.
I guess all the links to everybody in the description below.
Yes. Astro's LinkedIn will be linked. Please go hire him.
Yes, please. Oh, hire me too. So.
Exactly. The resumes are in the description.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Actually, I'll take a job offer so I can convince my current job to pay me more. So give me one of those.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we're getting like 20 job offers. Like,
so I guess with that being said, that was the 5th episode of the Anime Nomad podcast. Playlist to all the other ones will be in the description below. And see you later. Bye-bye.
Good night.